What's good, everybody on YouTube? This is your boy Akil McLeod back with another video, and today I'm going to share the 5 things that I learned at PoshFest 2019. Now, if you guys didn't catch my last video, I was actually a guest speaker at this year's event, and I really had a good time, and I was just glad that I was able to speak to so many people and meet so many people at this year's event as well. So if you guys didn't catch that video, I'll put a link in the description below and in the cards above so you guys can check that one out after this one. But without further ado, let's get into it. Alright, y'all, so before I get into these 5 things, just a quick disclaimer. PoshFest 2019, in my opinion, was really geared towards a lot of the beginners, and it was really surface level material. So for those of us that are a little more advanced and have already experienced some success on the Poshmark app, I don't think PoshFest was really geared towards us. And a lot of the things that I learned was actually coming straight from the CEO during the State of the Poshmark Union or State of the Union address that he gave. And I also learned a lot just from networking and connecting with a lot of you guys that I've met. And I met a lot of YouTube viewers as well. So shout out to everybody that I was able to meet and just have some quick conversations with, because that's really why I did want to just go to PoshFest this year and just really connect with a lot of you guys. But like I said, the first thing that I learned from PoshFest 2019 is the fact that sharing was really created just to keep the playing field even. So for me, this was my first year attending a PoshFest, and this was the first time that I've heard the reason why sharing is even a thing. And for me, it was refreshing to learn that Poshmark was really against the whole promoted listings aspect of it. And they thought that just creating a platform where you have to share your items just to put it in front of more buyers, it makes the playing field even. And they even took a slight jab at eBay and saying that they probably won't ever be going into a promoted listings kind of aspect. So that was really refreshing, because as you guys know, if you guys sell on eBay as well, promoted listings is really good. It helps boost sales, but at the end of the day, you're spending a lot of money. And if you guys watch one of my previous videos where I talked about promoted listings, depending on how you have your browser set up, some people might not even be seeing some of those promoted listings. So that's definitely something you guys need to just put some consideration into, especially if you're selling on eBay and on Poshmark like I do. Another interesting thing that I learned at PoshFest 2019 is the fact that a lot of people are using Instagram in order to either promote their Poshmark Closet or simply just drive sales. Now for me, before I started selling on Poshmark, I was always selling on eBay, but I was also selling items directly through Instagram, and I was using Cash App and PayPal to collect funds. Now for me, it's probably been about 2 years since I was doing that, and I'll probably start going back to that model depending on certain items, just to see if I can continue to drive sales that way. But for me, it was really dope to see that so many people are using Instagram, and according to them, they are saying it's helping them drive sales. So I know I always get people that ask me, is social media necessary in order to drive sales or even be successful on the Poshmark app? And I would tell you guys this all the time. For me, I would say it's absolutely not a necessity, but it definitely doesn't hurt, and it probably really can help you drive sales. So I'm probably going to do an experiment on that. I'm probably going to start putting up some items for sale and just talking and just trying to use Instagram a little more often within the next few months, and I'll give you guys an update on how that works out for me. Now, something else that was very interesting to me is the fact that there are more sellers on Poshmark than there is on Etsy, Airbnb, and Uber combined. Now, of course, when it comes to Uber, they're talking about Uber drivers, because people don't sell anything on Uber. Now, this was really dope to me because, as we all know, buyers are also sellers. So this will definitely just help us to increase more sales, get our products in front of more people, and just hopefully move more inventory solely on Poshmark. So hearing this type of news was definitely really good for me, because like I said, it lets me know that the future is bright and that Poshmark is constantly growing and bringing in more sellers. So for me, it's definitely a win-win type of situation. Now, something else that I learned from the keynote speech is the fact that there are 150 unique brands that were made solely through Poshmark. Now what this means is that people are really just leveraging the followers that they have already garnered on the Poshmark app, and they're using that following to basically promote their own brands on Poshmark. And I think that's dope, because a lot of people, especially myself, I really never understood the whole concept of following and why people follow so many different people just to get more followers, when in reality, to me, having a bunch of followers was never really important. But the fact that 150 people have really leveraged their following and created brands and basically marketed their brands to their Poshmark following really just gave me a whole different mindset and a whole different perspective when it came to having a larger following on Poshmark. So that's something I'm probably going to start putting more energy into, and maybe one day I'll even launch my own brand. Who knows what it will be, but hearing this fact just definitely gave me a different perspective and kind of just gave me some more insight on how I can leverage my Poshmark following. Now, one of the biggest things that I learned about Poshmark at PoshFest 2019 is the fact that Poshmark as a company has done over $2 billion in sales. Now, as we all know, Poshmark charges 20%, and like I said, $2 billion is a lot of money. So 20% of $2 billion, I really had to do the math myself, is $400 million. So Poshmark is a really, really big company at this point. And for me, as you guys know, I'm an entrepreneur. I sell things online, eBay and on Poshmark, and I'm starting to venture into other areas now as well. And it's really just letting me think, starting to make me think a lot bigger. Because if Poshmark is able to only be less than 10 years old at this point and doing so well, just in a short amount of time, relatively short amount of time, it's making me think bigger. And I think as Poshmark sellers, we should also start to think bigger as well. Whether that means creating our own brands on Poshmark and leveraging the following that we're garnering on the Poshmark app, whether that means trying to do more business outside of Poshmark just so that we can create more money and more opportunities for ourselves, or whether that means that you want to create your own selling platform and combine some of the things that eBay is doing and Amazon is doing and Poshmark is doing and create your own selling platform so that you can charge your own 20% or 10% or whatever it is that you want to charge. But it's really just making me think a lot bigger than I was in the past. And I think when it comes to going to a lot of these conferences, a lot of us, we get excited about stuff, we usually get motivated and come back and want to do more. But for me, it's really given me a bigger perspective and just made me think bigger in terms of business. Because like I said, 20% of $2 billion in overall sales is a ton of money, and I'm just kind of enamored with the fact that Poshmark is doing so well. So I'm definitely just going to start thinking bigger, and I suggest that you guys start doing the same as well. So that's all I got for today's video. So if you guys enjoyed that one, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.
I told you my intentions, baby. Still blame me for things from before. You over being underrated. This lightning's causing thunder lately. So lend a heart with no repayment. My interest rate is lower, ain't it? Decide to auction off a bid.